All right, now we're going to start to talk about techniques, things that you can do. These are other than behaviors to reduce the effect of an acute stressor on your health. In other words, to reduce the effect of an acute stress on activating the stress-reactive brain areas. First, let's differentiate acute stress from chronic stress. Acute stress lasts for a few minutes, although you may continue to stew over it for hours. It's unanticipated. You don't expect it to happen. It's of short duration, lasting for just a few minutes or even less than that. But often we don't let go and we keep thinking about it. Chronic stress is stress that lasts for hours, days, weeks, or even years. Things that activate your brain and cause an elevation of hormones and all of the health effects due to the activation of the stress hormones. So what we're going to do, we're going to first focus on acute stress, unanticipated, short duration, and it's over even though you may keep thinking about it. A very useful and rapidly effective technique to lower the concentration of stress hormones when we experience acute stress, unanticipated, something happens, and as a result, our brain gets activated, a hormone, this one is called norepinephrine, goes up in concentration, and this hormone interferes with our ability to focus and think clearly. And that's why when we experience acute stress, we may say or do something that's not us, something that is inappropriate. And just ask yourself, you ever done something like that? Maybe some people have. And then what you've got to realize is that the reason you did something inappropriate or said something inappropriate was because of the elevation of this hormone, the rapid elevation of the hormone. Now, what happens when you experience acute stress? We will either hold our breath or decrease how deeply we are breathing. As soon as we do that, carbon dioxide goes up in the blood. And as soon as the carbon dioxide goes up, it causes the brain to start releasing this hormone, norepinephrine, which acts upon the brain and prevents you from thinking clearly, prevents you from focusing. So the way that you reverse that, since it's due to an elevation of carbon dioxide in the blood, is to get more oxygen into your blood. And the only way you can get more oxygen into your blood is by taking deeper breaths. And the only way you can take a deeper breath is by pushing the wall of your stomach out. What happens when you push the wall of your stomach out? Your intestines fall forward and your chest cavity, where your lungs are, expands, which allows the lungs to fill that space. And when the lungs do that, they pull in air. They pull in a lot of air so that oxygen will get into the blood. If you are breathing calmly, like most people do, using your chest muscles, you will pull in a small percentage of the amount of air you pull into your lungs when you use deep breathing, or abdominal breathing, as it's also called. So, what do you do to remember to do this? Well, you can leave sticky notes around with messages, breathe on put them on your refrigerator, your computer, in your car, in your bathroom mirror, wherever you want. But very importantly, you should also share this information with friends, with colleagues, with people you interact with, so that when they see that you are experiencing stress, they can say to you, hey, come on now, take a couple deep breaths, and you will do the same for them. So let's sit back for a minute. Let's sit back and let's take 3 deep breaths. And we will breathe in through our mouth or our nose, doesn't matter which. And when we're doing this, we'll push our belly out. So let's do that. Let's start. Let's breathe in belly out. And now let's exhale, belly in. And let's take another breath. Breathe in, belly out, and exhale, belly in. And a final breath. Breathe in, push your belly out, and exhale, pull your belly in. And then I say to you, how do you feel? And I guarantee that most people will be calm. And I know this because we have worked with so many thousands of people. Yes, you will feel calm. That's how quickly this works. And you want to be calm. You want to think clearly when you're upset. And it's easy to do, but remember, you need to do this and practice it when you're calm, when you're under control. You need to train yourself to do this, because if you try to do it just when you experience stress, it's not going to be easy to do. So practice this. Make sure that you can do it well. We ask you not to take more than 3 to 5 deep breaths. As it's possible, you will get busy. But 3 breaths usually are all you need. If after 3 breaths you are dizzy, don't take any more. Stop. If you start doing this and you're up to 5 deep breaths and you still haven't felt calm, which will happen on occasion, because there are strong stressors that are very hard to buffer. But if after 5 breaths you're not calm and you're not dizzy, stop. Don't take more. Wait 15 minutes and then do it again. Again, I want you to practice this when you're calm, when you're feeling good. So when you need to do it, you will have it. It's yours to use. Another technique for rapidly lowering the concentration of stress hormones when we experience acute stress is the use of humor. Remember what our grandparents said, laughter is the best medicine. And the way it works is that there are areas of the brain that are activated by humor when you think something is funny. And these brain areas are linked, are wired into the stress reactive areas. And when you activate the humor responsive areas, you will shut off the production of stress hormones. Now, the issue is, you're under stress, how do you think of something funny? And here's what we do, how to use humor for calming yourself. What we ask you to do is select something that makes you laugh, something that you find funny. And we want you to store this away in your brain, in your mind, so that when you need to use it, it's there. You don't have to come up with something funny. You've got it stored away in your mind. So what we ask you to do is to create an imaginary box in your head and put the funny thing into the box, and then store the box with the funny thing in it somewhere in your head. You decide where you want to store it. Then, when something is upsetting you and causing you stress, you don't feel like doing deep breathing because maybe you're in a situation where you don't feel it would be appropriate. All you have to do is go to the box, think of the funny thing that you put in it. Take that funny thing out of the box and simply think about it. And what will happen, this will activate the humor responsive areas of the brain, which will tell the stress reactive brain areas to calm down. You will decrease the concentration of stress hormones, and you will be able to think clearly. So you can use humor, you can take some deep breaths. They both work. You do whatever you are comfortable with. Let's talk about a smile. The importance of a smile. Our facial expressions have an influence on our brain, and the simple act of smiling can increase the positive feeling of joyfulness. the simple act of smiling, the importance of smiling. So here's what I would like you to do. Scrunch up your face and make the most awful look you can. Come on, scrunch, awful looking. You can do better than that. Hold that, hold that. And now think you're happy. Was it easy to think that you're happy, happy thoughts, when you had a kind of awful, miserable look on your face? Most people are unable to do that. It's hard to think happy thoughts when you don't have a happy face. Now let's do the opposite. Put a big happy smile on your face. Come on, big smile, big smile. All right, now hold that smile there. Hold that big smile on your face, and now think of something sad. Think of something sad when you have a big smile on your face. Is it easy to think of something sad when you have a big smile on your face? It isn't. Look, the simple act of just smiling can have an effect on our mind and make us feel better. And if we walked around smiling more, it would take stronger stressors to activate the stress reactive areas. Things that may bother you now may not bother you if you kept a smile on your face. Wait a second, I said keep a smile on your face. Well, it'd be great. Everybody walked around with a smile on their face. Are you willing to do it? Well, maybe you'll do it a little bit, but what's going to happen? Somebody's going to say to you, what's wrong with you? Why are you always smiling? That's what happens. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody smiled all the time? Okay, that's how easy it is to reduce the effect of acute stress on health. Breathing, the use of humor. Of course, we've got the background of having friends and being physically active and being high in spirituality. And then we put the acute stress coping techniques on top of that, and we will handle stress better. So let's now go on to section 7 and talk about the techniques and ways that we can reduce the effect of chronic stress on our health.